the forest swallowed them. The black wolf did not slow, even as flames roared behind. Branches tore at its fur, thorns cut its skin, yet its jaws never loosened around the crying child. When the wolf finally stopped, it was deep inside Dandak Van, where even spirits hesitated to walk. The wolf laid Devata on the cold earth. For the first time since the fire, silence returned. The wolf circled him, sniffing. This was no ordinary beast. Its eyes held an ancient awareness. Older than the forest itself, it had watched kingdoms rise and rot, and now it stared at a child soaked in loss. Devata cried until his voice broke. The wolf howled, not in anger, but in mourning. That howl echoed across the forest, and something unseen listened. Days passed. The wolf returned with food meat torn fresh, warm with blood. Devata gagged, refused, screamed. Hunger won. He learned to eat raw flesh before he learned to walk properly. His stomach hardened, his teeth grew sharper. The wolf never left him. At night, it curled around him like a living wall. When predators approached, they vanished into the darkness. When spirits drifted close, they fled in terror. The forest itself seemed to bend away from the pair. Years passed like wounds closing. Devata learned to crawl, then run on all fours barefoot wild. He learned the forest's language, the snap of a twig, the scent of fear, the suffocating silence before death. He spoke less with words and more with growls, gestures, and stares that made grown beasts back away in submission. The wolf taught him everything it knew: how to hunt without mercy, how to kill without hatred, how to survive without hope. But on certain nights, Devata would wake screaming. Fire haunted his dreams, so did the sound of his parents' screams, a memory he couldn't quite grasp but could never escape. That was when the wolf would press its massive forehead to his chest, and Devata would feel something strange, a primal comfort, a heartbeat that was not his own, echoing in his soul. On the night Devata turned 12, the forest changed. The air grew heavy, charged with an ancient power. The moon bled, casting a sickening red light over the trees. The wolf stood taller than ever before, its bones cracked and reformed. Its shadow stretched and twisted, becoming something not entirely animal, something far more terrifying. Devata watched in horror and awe as the wolf transformed. It became a creature of nightmare, half beast, half ancient guardian, a being of pure, untamed power. It was then that the truth, cold and sharp, pierced his mind. This wolf was not his savior by chance. It was a keeper, a watcher of cursed children, a servant of a fate far darker than he could have ever imagined. The transformed wolf lowered its head before him, its glowing eyes locking onto his, and for the first time it spoke not with a voice that vibrated through the air, but with one that echoed directly inside his mind. "You were saved." The voice boomed in his consciousness, "so you could become something worse." That night, Devata's bones burned with an unnatural fire. His spine bent, his teeth sharpened into fangs. His scream, no longer human, shook the very foundations of the forest. When dawn finally arrived, a boy no longer stood there, only a pair of glowing eyes stared back from the shadows. And somewhere deep within Dandak Van, the forest whispered a name it had been waiting to speak. BHEDIYA was no longer alone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dark tale, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the shadows.